Alexander Usyk, David Adelaide, Jermaine Franklin, Michael Hunter, Frank Sanchez have all been tied to fighting the young heavyweight future of British boxing, Moses Itauma. But the WBA and President Gilberto Mendoza, they just ordered somebody else.
Hello guys, this is Rolly Romero.
Yo, my name is Nonito Donera.
What's up guys, it's Anders Eyes.
We're here with Bob Santos Boxing.
And I rock with Dr. Boxing Talk.
I want to give a quick shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk.
And I want to give a big shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk. Thank you for all the love, thank you for all the support.
You're rocking with Dr. Boxing Talk. Get your daily news from my man right here, the best in the business. Let's get it, baby.
All day, baby.
Amen.
Bam!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you'll say I'm boasting. If I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Talk family? Welcome back to your favorite boxing news channel, Dr. Boxing Talk, and we are back for another YouTube video. Banger, man. Yes, sir. Yes, man. I don't know what time it is. Doctor's in the house, man, so check this out. But before we get to it, let's go ahead and smack that like button. Let's do it together. Appreciate you. That helps us to keep going and growing on this YouTube platform. BTF, rise up. Boxing Talk family, we got some news out of the heavyweight division, specifically out of the British heavyweight division or section, you know, featuring Moses Itauma, man. And Moses Itauma, you know, he's been wondering, like, who's he going to fight since he's coming off of his great victory, first round stoppage of Dillian White. You know, Dillian White just seems like he's kind of over the hill at this point in his career, no disrespect, but you know, we expected that to happen for Moses Itauma to win, but not like that. In first round stoppage, oh man, you know, so Moses Itauma he's riding some momentum, you know, so we're interested to seeing who he's gonna fight next. And there's been a lot of rumors about who he could fight. You know, one person that they were talking about fighting is Jermaine Franklin. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't really too excited about this fight because, you know, I know that Jermaine Franklin only lost by decision to Dillian White, but if you stop the guy that beat the guy, you know, if you stop the guy in one round and then turn around and fight a guy that guy beat, I think it just looks kind of, I don't know, it's just hard to get intrigued about that, you know what I'm saying? But my feelings have changed about this fight because since then, in the interim, Jermaine Franklin has won a fight against an undefeated Ivan Dishko, you know. So this fight, I kind of changed my opinion on it as far as not being too intrigued to being a little more interested in it now, you know. So the American Jermaine Franklin versus Moses Itauma, that was being played with, but we don't know if that's going to happen, right? Another option for Moses Itauma, another option for Moses Itauma we were talking about was Michael Hunter and David Adelaide. You know, their names were in the pot to get potentially Moses Itauma, but Michael Hunter, you know, he was rumored to be fighting Kubrat Pulev. Remember that name? We're going to get back to that later, but that fight apparently fell through, and so he's still in the running for Moses Itauma as it currently sits, you know. And then there was another option is Frank Sanchez. The IBF ordered a title eliminator between Moses Itauma and Frank Sanchez, to which Moses Itauma and Frank Warren and Queensberry, they denied it. And they said, you know, we're going to let that go. And it seems like Daniel Dubois and Frank Sanchez are going to line that up for a future title shot at Alexander Usyk. And speaking of Alexander Usyk, you know, Moses Itauma and his camp, and especially his trainer Ben Davison, said that they would like to fight Alexander Usyk, who's a legend, and who wouldn't want to try to fight him, especially as a young guy, you know. So it's really a win-win because you get the experience, you know, even if you lose. But if you win, man, you're just catapulted into stardom just like that. You see what I'm saying? So that'd be a great fight. However, the WBA and President Gilberto Mendoza, they stepped in and said, hey, you know, we don't care about none of that. We're going to order Moses Itauma to get a title shot. Before you get excited, there's a catch. With the WBA, there's always a caveat. You know, they always move shaky, right?
Yeah.
They said that you're not going to get the full champion, Alexander Usyk, for the WBA belt. Huh? You're not even going to get a shot at the WBA interim title holder, Fabio Worley. Huh? But we will give you a shot at the regular belt holder for the WBA, in Kubrat Pulev.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, because that's how many belts they have. They literally have 3 champions in one division right now, the heavyweight division, man. And that's just ridiculous, man. That's too much. And that's why some people think the belts are watered down when you have these sanctioned bodies that are, there's no other way to cut it. They're taking advantage of the fighters. You see what I'm saying? So Moses Itauma is ranked #1 right now. Michael Hunter is ranked #2, but that doesn't get you a shot at Alexander Usyk, the super champ, or a shot at Fabio Worley, the interim champ. Remember, he's fighting Joseph Parker. You see what I'm saying? To consolidate those belts, you know, consolidate the interim belts, you feel me? Because Joseph Parker's an interim WBO title holder, and then Fabio Worley's that WBA interim title holder. But, you know, being ranked number 1 gets you a shot at the regular champion, Kubrat Pulev. So we'll see how that goes, man. The WBA have actually said that they demanded a purse bid, so they have 30 days to reach an agreement between Moses Itauma and Kubrat Pulev. So that'll be about November 14th. If not, it's gonna go to purse bid. You see what I'm saying? But now, that's not guaranteeing that Moses Itauma will go that direction. He could explore the option of just giving up his ranking. You know, that's always there for him. You know, I think Moses Itauma right now is in the driver's seat on who he wants to fight. It'll be a good look to become a regular champion. Why not? You know, but if they don't want to fight Kubrat Pulev, if they don't feel like the name or the negotiations go through in their favor, then they could probably still explore Michael Hunter. You know, they could still explore Jermaine Franklin. They could still explore, you know, all the other options that they have currently right now. So I'm not saying that it's guaranteed, but the WBA has definitively ordered that Kubrat Pulev, their WBA regular champion, fights Moses Itauma. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that, man. I don't know, man. I kind of think it's a bunch of nonsense, but like I said, being 20 years old, call yourself a regular WBA champion. I'm not mad at that. I still respect the fighters. Still got to respect the work that they put in and the risk that they're taking, especially at the heavyweight division. One punch is all it takes. You know what I'm saying? All of boxing, but particularly the big guys, you know what I'm saying? The heavyweight division. So we'll see what goes next. Me personally, who I would like to see him fight, I would like to see Michael Hunter. Now I know, but you know, I don't think that's too realistic because Michael Hunter, I think he's a very good boxer. He only has 1 loss to Alexander Usyk. He beat Martin Bakole in the past as well. You know, not on 24 hours notice like Joseph Parker. He beat Martin Bakole when they both were prepared. And you know, Martin Bakole did suffer a shoulder injury, if my memory serves me correctly. I believe it was his right shoulder, but at that point he was already losing anyway. You know what I'm saying? The majority of the round. So Michael Hunter is a very good boxer. I think that would test Moses Itauma the most. However, I think that comes with a little reward, you know. And then Kubrat Pulev, I think that's a, I wouldn't say comparable challenge. I think Michael Hunter would be the toughest challenge stylistically, but Kubrat Pulev would also answer some questions about Moses Itauma. You know, I don't think he'll get stopped in the first round like Dillian White. So, you know, I think that would answer some questions. But I think Michael Hunter is definitely the harder opponent, more difficult opponent stylistically. But Kubrat Pulev is slightly a better matchup for Moses Itauma, more favorable matchup, and it comes with a regular belt. So
Know your fucking place, trash.
I think that Kubrat Pulev makes sense right now, you know, but I know that Moses Itauma was also planning on coming back in December, so we'll see how that goes, if all that lines up correctly, or if not, they could postpone it and come back in January. I think it lines up better for January if he goes the Kubrat Pulev route, but we'll see, man. You know, I'll definitely keep you updated, but let me know what y'all think about that. Don't forget to smack that like button, but most importantly, remember, with God we can do anything. Without God we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.